After the crash, Donald Trump wanted to make a statement, and he wanted to make it seem like the reason we had this plane crash, this mishap, is because, of course, DEI is likely the culprit. Do you have any proof about that? No, but you just have to have common sense, according to Donald Trump. Of course, that is the mentality that we're talking about. Of course, he doesn't take into consideration that all the other crashes in that we've had in the United States. Please tell me how DEI played a part in those crashes. I don't think so. In fact, look at all the pilots. Joanne Reid did a great job in pointing out, first of all, who DEI really applies to, what the identities of the FAA looks like, pilots, mechanics, etc., what it looks like. And folks, if you really wanted to assign blame based on how things are set up, it wouldn't be DEI that you would be blaming. She did a great job in expressing this. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
We want the people that are competent.
How you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash?
Because I have common sense.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Trump can blame anyone and everything that he wants, right? But the reality is this horror happened on his watch and with his policies and his people in place. In fact, on his second day in office, President Trump issued an executive order that called for an immediate end to DEI programs at the Federal Aviation Administration. And he did that despite the fact that the FAA has had a shortage of air traffic controllers for years. But as a result of Trump's day one hiring freeze, no federal civilian position could be filled. Also, there was no one in charge of the Federal Aviation Administration at the time of the crash. Michael Whitaker had been the head of the agency that oversees airline safety, but he quit after Elon Musk waged a Twitter war against him, demanding that he resign. So what did Whitaker do to upset co-president Musk? In September, Whitaker had proposed fines of more than $600,000 for SpaceX because it was the only tool they had to get compliance on safety matters. Trump appointed someone to the position hours after the accident. And here's the issue with these celebrity cabinet officials. They aren't the big dogs in charge. In fact, the guy who holds their leashes is Elon Musk. Well, lucky for us, Musk has burrowed himself into multiple agencies, from the Office of Personnel Management and the General Services Administration all the way to the FBI, so he can run the whole government, not just the part covering the airlines. Late this afternoon, Trump, who seemed angry, annoyed, and a little glib, was asked if he had any plans to visit the site of the accident.
Do you have a plan to go visit the site or meet with any of the
I have a plan to visit, not the site, because you tell me, what's the site? The water?
Or to meet with the first responders.
Wow. Musk, Trump, Hegseth, Vance, and Duffy want you to believe that they are right on top of it all, and you should trust them to run American aviation because they look the part, right? I mean, just look at how non-DEI they are, racially and gender-wise. But the facts are far less convenient. According to early reports, staffing was not normal in the air traffic control tower at the time of the crash. And according to the FAA, 94% of pilots are already white. 84% of mechanics and technicians are white. 84% of engineers are white. And 78% of air traffic controllers also white. So unless white dude is the new DEI, I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. Lastly, while I know that we live in a time where Trump cabinet officials live for TV, a former National Transportation Safety Board official told NBC News that normally the only agency allowed to release factual information is the NTSB. The president, the defense secretary, and the transportation secretary should not have been commenting on investigative matters. But you know what? Nothing matters when you're trying to move fast and break things, which just so happens to be things that we as a country really rely on, like the FAA, for our literal physical safety.
So as it turns out, first of all, Donald Trump's FAA and all his transportation area positions are not there. He got rid of a whole lot of folks without having immediate replacement. So they're understaffed, etc. a whole lot. Is that the cause of the crash? I am not going to say that completely. But before you start throwing stones, realize that you yourself don't have the infrastructure in place to maintain a good transition that has occurred. But the people that are looking into this crash and how to make things better, you have to wonder, because the 5 men who are taking care of this right now, President Donald Trump, co-president Elon Musk, Vice President J.D. Vance, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Who are these guys? These guys are these guys are supposed to be the absolute tops of the game that's going to make things better in America. But we should examine who they are. President Donald Trump, television personality, failed businessman, grifter, women abuser, thief, convicted felon. That's our president. Our co-president, Elon Musk, former illegal immigrant according to his brother, businessman whose businesses survive mostly on government welfare. And government welfare directly and indirectly because of policies passed. Vice President J.D. Vance, former purchase senator, attorney in name only, Marine Corps journalist. These are the experts. These are the guys in the know. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, woman abuser, drunk, member of the National Guard, Fox News host. These are the qualifications of the people. These are, DEI. Think about who they want to accuse of being DEI hires and look at these guys and tell me if anybody in their right minds would have hired these guys to do any serious work. And of course, there's Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, former reality TV star, Fox News host, and lawyer, again, name only. So folks, when you hear all the stories about DEI and who's qualified and not qualified, make note, we are a country that is being run by a cadre of unqualified people, both men and women, unqualified men and unqualified women. We are leaving people that brought this country out of the funk. And now we have chosen, or some, not the majority, but a plurality, have chosen to put this country in the hands of charlatanes who don't know their jobs and who simply are bringing chaos to government. This is not the time for that, folks. Ebola is raising its head again. The last time Ebola raised its heads, Obama was in office and he did what was necessary. He took it seriously and he went ahead and sent people all over the world to nip this stuff in the butt before it became a problem in the United States. And we are having avian flu right now, going through all our birds, chickens, pavos, all these things. And we have ineptitude in office. Will we get a triple whammy of pandemics and otherwise from people who have no clue in how to run a government? The FAA issues and many others, we better be careful.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.